A woman will never approach you and announce, "I've decided I want you. Do something about it before I reconsider." That's not how female communication operates, but here's what does happen, and this is the part most men completely overlook. Women communicate intention through physical signals that bypass language entirely. I'm talking about a nonverbal vocabulary that women have been using forever to transmit one unmistakable message. I'm open. Act on it. If you miss these signals, she won't repeat them. She'll simply redirect that energy elsewhere, towards someone who's actually paying attention. And here's where it gets uncomfortable for most men. Research has shown that women often send multiple signals of attraction before a man even consciously registers one. That means by the time you're wondering, is she into me? She may have already decided whether you're someone she can connect with or someone she needs to move on from. Let that sink in for a second, because what you think is neutral interaction might actually be a missed opportunity in slow motion. Before we go deeper, I want to ask you something and be honest with yourself. How many times have you walked away from a conversation thinking, maybe she was interested, I'm not sure? And how many times did you replay that moment later, wishing you had done something differently? If you've ever felt that, you're exactly where you need to be. And if you're already getting value from this, take a second to like the video. It helps more than you think. And tell me in the comments, what's one moment you still think about where you might have missed a signal? My name is Sarah Jones, and I've spent years studying female psychology, attraction patterns, and the subtle emotional language that most people never learn to see, let alone understand. And today, I'm going to walk you through something that will completely change the way you interpret women's behavior. Not in a manipulative way, not in a game-playing way, but in a deeply aware, emotionally intelligent way that aligns with how attraction actually works beneath the surface. Because here's the truth no one tells you: attraction is rarely spoken, it's revealed. And one of the most honest parts of the body when it comes to attraction is the hands. Think about it. That's why today, we're not just talking about signals, we're talking about patterns, about emotional leakage. Your face can lie, your voice can pretend, you can say the right things, but your hands leak truth. They move before your brain filters them. They reveal what you're feeling before you even fully understand it yourself. About the quiet moments where attraction shows itself, if you know where to look. Let me take you into a real-life scenario. Imagine you're sitting across from a woman at a cafe. The conversation is flowing. Nothing extraordinary, just light, easy, comfortable. But then something subtle shifts. Her hand moves to her hair. Not quickly, not mechanically, but slowly, deliberately. And instead of just fixing it and moving on, her fingers trail down past her jawline to her neck. Most men miss this. They think she's just adjusting her hair. But psychologically, that's not what's happening. When a woman allows her hand to linger like that, especially around vulnerable areas like her neck, she's not just fixing anything, she's expressing comfort, trust, and more importantly, openness. The neck is one of the most vulnerable parts of the human body. In evolutionary psychology, exposing it signals safety. It's a subconscious way of saying, I don't feel threatened here, I feel relaxed, I feel seen. Now, I want you to think about this carefully. I feel relaxed, I feel seen. Now I want you to think about this carefully. If someone doesn't feel comfortable around you, their body closes off. Their movements become efficient, minimal, guarded. But when attraction is present, the body softens, movements slow down, there's an almost unconscious elegance to it. And that trailing motion of the hand, that's not random, it's attention-directing behavior. She's drawing awareness, your awareness, to her presence without saying a word. But here's where most men go wrong. They see it, or rather, they don't see it, and they just continue talking. About work, about traffic, about something safe, something neutral, and in that moment, something important happens. She notices, not consciously maybe, but emotionally, she feels the lack of response, the absence of recognition, and slowly, subtly, she begins to withdraw, not dramatically, just enough. Her energy shifts, her body closes, her hands return to neutral positions. And suddenly, the connection you could have built fades. This is what I mean when I say attraction has a timing element. It's not just about recognizing signals, it's about responding to them in the moment they're given. Now let's go deeper. There's another behavior that almost no one talks about, but once you see it, you'll never unsee it. It's what psychologists call tactile displacement, and it looks incredibly innocent on the surface. She's holding a glass, and her fingers are slowly tracing the rim. Or she's running her fingertips along the edge of a table, the strap of her bag, the corner of a menu. And again, most men dismiss this as fidgeting, but it's not. It's displaced intention. Let me explain. When a woman feels a desire to initiate physical contact, but the situation doesn't yet allow it, her body redirects that energy. It needs an outlet, so instead of touching you, she touches something near her. The object becomes a substitute. And this is where it gets fascinating, because the way she touches that object matters. Is it quick and distracted? Or is it slow, rhythmic, almost absent-minded? Because when it's the second one, it's not distraction, it's emotional overflow. Her body is processing attraction in real time. Now, imagine this scenario. You're sitting across from her, and she's slowly tracing the rim of her glass while maintaining eye contact with you. There's a softness in her expression, a slight pause in her speech, a kind of lingering presence. That's not boredom, that's tension, not negative tension, attraction tension. And here's the part that might surprise you. That tension is fragile. If you ignore it, it dissolves. If you respond to it, calmly, confidently, it builds. So what does responding actually mean? It doesn't mean jumping across the table. It means meeting her energy, slowing down your own movements, holding eye contact a fraction longer, letting silence exist for a second without rushing to fill it. Because attraction often grows in those quiet spaces, not in constant talking, not in over-explaining, but in presence. And this is where emotional intelligence becomes more powerful than any line you could ever use. Now, I want to ask you something again. Have you ever noticed a moment where everything felt slightly charged, but you didn't act? And later, you couldn't explain why the moment disappeared? That's what we're talking about. That's the space where attraction either deepens or dies. And in the next part, we're going to move into something even more direct. Because when a woman crosses from indirect signals into physical touch, that's when things change completely. And most men still hesitate right there, which is exactly why they lose the moment. So stay with me, because what comes next might be the difference between confusion and clarity. Now let's move into the moment where everything shifts. The moment where attraction stops being subtle and starts becoming undeniable. Because there's a line, an invisible one, that separates curiosity from intention. And when a woman crosses that line, she doesn't do it randomly. She does it because she's already made a decision about you. That moment is physical touch. Let me paint a scene for you. You're talking. Maybe you said something funny. Not even that funny, if we're being honest. But she laughs, and as she does, her hand reaches out and touches your arm, just for a second. Light, almost casual. And this is where most men completely misread what just happened. They think, oh, she's just expressive. No, she's testing connection, because touch is not neutral. Touch requires intention. It requires crossing a boundary, her boundary. And women don't cross that boundary with men they feel nothing for. So when her hand lands on your forearm, even briefly, what she's really doing is asking a silent question. Can I come closer to you? And will you meet me there? Now here's where things get interesting. Your reaction matters more than the touch itself. If you freeze, pull away, or act like nothing happened, her brain immediately registers that as uncertainty. Not rejection exactly, but hesitation. And hesitation weakens attraction. But if you stay relaxed, grounded, and present in that moment, something completely different happens. You create emotional safety, and safety is the foundation of attraction for women. Let me explain this in a deeper psychological sense. When a woman initiates touch, her brain is doing multiple things at once. It's measuring your response. It's checking for congruence. It's asking, does he feel confident in this space? Is he comfortable with closeness? Can he handle connection without becoming awkward or overwhelmed? And here's the truth most people won't say out loud. Confidence isn't what you say, it's how you receive. Now I want you to think back for a second. Have you ever had a moment where a woman touched you and you instantly became hyper aware of it? Maybe your body stiffened slightly. Maybe your mind started racing. What does this mean? Should I do something? And in that moment, instead of staying present, You left the interaction mentally. She feels that, even if she can't explain it. And that's the difference between a moment that builds and a moment that breaks. Now let's go even deeper, because there's another level of touch that carries even more meaning. And this is where things start becoming very clear. It's what I call intentional contact. Not accidental, not playful, deliberate. This is when she finds reasons to touch you again. Maybe she taps your arm to emphasize a point. Maybe she brushes your shoulder while walking beside you. Maybe she leans slightly into you instead of away. These are not coincidences. These are patterns, and patterns reveal intention. Because once is a possibility, twice is a signal, 3 times is a decision. At that point, she's no longer testing, she's inviting. And yet, this is where most men hesitate the most. Why? Because the moment becomes real. It's no longer abstract. There's something happening, and now there's pressure. What if I misread it? What if I ruin it? But here's the perspective shift you need. Attraction isn't fragile because you act. It's fragile because you don't. Let me give you a real-life example. I once worked with a client who told me about a date that felt perfect. His words. Great conversation, lots of laughter, easy connection. But at the end of the date, nothing happened. No escalation, no deeper connection. And when I asked him what stood out, he said, "Well, she touched my arm a few times, but I didn't want to assume anything." That sentence right there, that's where he lost the moment. Because from her perspective, she had already communicated multiple times. And when nothing came back, she interpreted it as lack of interest, not respect, not politeness, disinterest. And that's something many men struggle to understand. Women don't always interpret hesitation as being a gentleman. Sometimes they interpret it as emotional absence. Now I want to slow this down for a second, because this isn't about telling you to rush or force anything, it's about alignment. If she moves closer, you meet her there. If she creates connection, you respond to it. Not aggressively, not awkwardly, just naturally. Because the most attractive thing you can do in these moments is match her energy. Now let's talk about something even more subtle, but incredibly powerful: open palms. This is one of those signals that almost no one consciously notices, but everyone feels. When a woman is sitting with you, talking, and her hands are open, palms visible, relaxed, facing upward or toward you, she's in a state of receptivity. This goes all the way back to human evolution. Open palms signal, I'm not a threat, but more than that, they signal, I'm open to you. Now compare that to closed body language. Hands tucked away, fingers clenched, arms crossed, that's protective energy. But when her hands are open, expressive, free, she's emotionally available in that moment. And here's the key detail most people miss. She's not doing this consciously. Her body is responding to how she feels around you, which means if you're seeing open palms, relaxed gestures, fluid movement, you've already created a level of comfort and attraction. The question is, what do you do with it? Because comfort without progression becomes stagnation. And stagnation kills attraction faster than rejection ever could. Now let's move into one of the most powerful and often misunderstood signals, finger contact. This is where things become electric. It usually happens in very small moments. You're passing her something, your fingers brush, or you're sitting close and your hands lightly touch. And for a split second, there's contact. Now here's what matters. What happens after that moment? Do you pull away instantly? Or do you allow the contact to exist just a little longer? Because in that tiny space, those extra 1 or 2 seconds, something powerful happens. Connection deepens, emotion intensifies. And yes, biologically, your bodies are releasing bonding chemicals. But more importantly, you're showing her that you're comfortable with closeness, that you're not afraid of intimacy. And that is rare, because most people are either too passive or too forceful. Very few know how to simply stay in the moment. Now let me ask you something again. Have you ever had a moment like that, where your hands touched and you immediately pulled back, almost like it was too much? That reaction is what breaks the emotional flow. Not because it's wrong, but because it signals uncertainty. And attraction doesn't grow in uncertainty, it grows in calm, grounded presence. So next time that moment happens, don't rush it, don't overthink it, just stay. Let it breathe. Let it exist. Because sometimes the smallest moments carry the biggest meaning. And in the final part, we're going to bring everything together. We're going to talk about the signals that confirm attraction beyond doubt. The ones that tell you the window is open and closing if you don't act. And most importantly, how to respond in a way that feels natural, confident, and deeply aligned with who you are. Because once you understand that, you stop guessing and you start knowing. Now we're stepping into the final layer, the point where attraction is no longer subtle, no longer questionable, and no longer something you need to guess. This is where everything either comes together or quietly falls apart. Because up until now, we've talked about signals that build tension, create curiosity, and open the door. But what we're about to talk about are the signals that say, the door is already open. Why are you still standing outside? Let's start with something deeply instinctual, wrist exposure. It sounds small, almost insignificant. But psychologically, it's incredibly revealing. The inner wrist is one of the most vulnerable areas of the body. The skin is thin. The veins are visible. It's a place we don't expose carelessly. So when a woman is sitting with you, and her wrists are open, facing toward you, visible, relaxed, she's not just sitting comfortably, she's signaling trust. And trust in attraction is everything. Because without trust, there is no emotional opening. And without emotional opening, there is no connection. Now imagine this. She's resting her chin lightly on her hand, her wrist turned toward you. Or she's adjusting her bracelet, slowly, not rushed, almost like she's unaware of the movement. Or her arms are resting on the table, palms up, wrists exposed, body slightly leaning in. These are not random positions, these are states of openness. Her body is saying, I feel safe here. I'm not guarding myself. I'm allowing you to see me. And here's the part most men don't realize. When a woman reaches this level of comfort, she's already emotionally invested, at least to a degree, which means if nothing happens from your side, that comfort begins to feel one-sided, and one-sided comfort turns into disconnection. Now let's move into something even more powerful, mirroring. This is where attraction becomes mutual. Because everything we've talked about so far has been about her signals, but mirroring tells you something deeper. It tells you she's not just expressing interest, she's responding to you. Let's say you lightly touch her arm while making a point, not forced, not rehearsed, just natural. And a few moments later, she does the same thing. Same area, same energy. That's not coincidence, that's alignment. It's her way of saying, I'm with you. I'm matching you. I want this dynamic to continue. And this is one of the clearest indicators that you're not alone in the interaction. Because attraction, when it's real, becomes a loop. You move a little closer. She meets you. You create connection. She reinforces it. And suddenly, it's not about making a move. It's about continuing a rhythm that already exists. Now, I want you to really sit with this, because this is where most men overcomplicate things. They think they need the perfect moment, the perfect line, the perfect timing. But when mirroring is present, the moment is already happening. You're not creating it. You're stepping into it, and that shift alone removes so much pressure. Because now, instead of asking, should I do something? You're asking me, what's the natural next step here? And that's a completely different mindset. Now we arrive at the most important signal of all, the one that changes everything. Sustained contact. This is where there is no ambiguity left, no confusion, no guessing. Because when a woman places her hand on you and leaves it there, she's not testing anymore, she's choosing. Let me explain the difference. A quick touch can be playful. A brief contact can be situational. But sustained touch? That requires intention. It requires comfort. And most importantly, desire. Imagine she places her hand on your arm, and instead of pulling it away after a second, she lets it stay. Or her hand rests lightly on your back as you walk, guiding, connecting, staying present. Or she touches your chest while laughing, and doesn't immediately create distance again. These moments are not subtle. They are declarations, not loud ones, but clear ones. And what she's saying, without words, is, I'm here with you. I'm comfortable with you. I want you to recognize this. Now here's the truth that might hit a little hard. If you don't respond in these moments, She will notice, and not in a dramatic way, not with confrontation, but internally, emotionally. She will start to close because from her perspective, she stepped forward and you didn't meet her. And when that happens, the energy shifts. Her hands move away, her body turns slightly, her attention drifts, and you're left sitting there thinking, what just changed? Nothing changed suddenly. Everything changed slowly the moment before. This is what I meant earlier when I said attraction has a timing element. There's a window, and that window doesn't stay open forever. Not because she's impatient, but because she's paying attention to you, to your responses, to your presence. And when she feels like her signals aren't being received, she protects herself. She withdraws, not as rejection, but as self-respect. Now, let's bring everything together. The hair touch that lingers, the fingers tracing objects, the light touches on your arm, the open palms, the subtle finger contact, the exposed wrist, the mirrored movements, and finally, the sustained touch. Each one of these is a layer, a progression, a story her body is telling. And when you learn to read that story, you stop living in confusion. You stop overthinking every interaction, and you start seeing what's actually in front of you. Now here's the most important part. What do you do with this? Because knowledge without action changes nothing. So let's make this simple. When you notice these signals, don't panic, don't rush. Don't try to perform, just respond. If she touches your arm, let your presence stay grounded. If she holds contact, don't break it immediately. If she mirrors you, continue the rhythm. If she opens up, meet her there. It's not about doing more, it's about doing just enough, with awareness. Because attraction isn't built through force, it's built through alignment. And when you align with her energy, everything starts to feel natural, effortless, real. Now, I want you to ask you one final question. After everything you've just learned, how many past moments are starting to make sense? How many times did you think nothing was happening, when in reality, everything was happening? Drop it in the comments. I read more of them than you think, and I genuinely want to know what clicked for you. And if this opened your eyes even a little, make sure you subscribe to the Female Signals, because this is what we do here. We don't guess, we don't chase trends, we understand human behavior deeply, honestly, and in a way that actually helps you connect better in real life. And if you made it all the way to the end, I want you to comment something simple. I see it now, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And more importantly, you'll never miss it the same way again. I'll see you in the next one.